Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we need to talk about something really serious that's been making waves across immigrant communities all over the US. And honestly, it's something you can't afford to ignore. The topic? Marriage fraud. Yes, you heard that right. USCIS has officially launched a massive crackdown, and people are already facing up to 5 years in federal prison for fake or suspicious marriages. Now, before you panic, let's slow down for a second. This video isn't meant to scare you, but to protect you. Because here's the truth. Sometimes, people get caught up in trouble without even realizing it. Maybe someone offered to help with paperwork. Maybe you married someone genuinely, but the timing looked suspicious. Or maybe you know someone who's being pressured into a marriage just to get a green card. Whatever the case, the new USCIS actions mean they're watching closer than ever before. They've upgraded their fraud detection systems, cross-checking data between immigration, tax, and even social media records. Officers are being trained to spot red flags during interviews, things like inconsistent answers, lack of shared finances, or even strange social media activity. And if they suspect fraud, it's not just the immigrant who faces consequences. The US citizen can go to jail too. So, if you're currently in the immigration process, or you're planning to get married soon, you need to know exactly what's changing, how to stay safe, and what USCIS is really looking for. Because sometimes, even honest couples can get flagged. And that's where the real trouble begins. Stick around till the end, because I'll break down what's real, what's rumor, and what steps you can take right now to protect your status and your future. And hey, before we dive in, please give this video a quick like to help it reach more immigrants who might need this information today. Trust me, it could save someone a lot of pain. Let's get started. All right, let's dive into this together. Because I know when you hear something like USCIS crackdown, your heart probably skips a beat. You start wondering, what does this really mean for me? Maybe you're already in the middle of your green card process. Or maybe you're married to a US citizen and you're still waiting for your interview date. Either way, this whole topic can sound intimidating. But here's the good news. You don't have to be afraid if you understand what's going on and you stay informed. That's what today's video is all about. Clarity, truth, and peace of mind. Now, let's start with what's actually happening. USCIS, which stands for the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, has started tightening its policies on what they call marriage-based immigration fraud. That means they're cracking down on marriages that are entered into only for immigration benefits. This isn't entirely new. It's been illegal for decades. But what's new is how aggressive the enforcement has become. With new technology, data sharing, and even social media monitoring, USCIS can now spot inconsistencies faster than ever. And let's be honest, there are people who abuse the system. Some folks fake marriages purely for a green card. But what often happens is that innocent, genuine couples get caught in the middle of this dragnet. Maybe they didn't live together before the wedding. Maybe they don't have joint finances yet. Or maybe cultural differences make their relationship look suspicious to an officer who doesn't understand their background. That's why it's so important to know what USCIS looks for and how you can protect yourself. When USCIS investigates a case, they're not just checking paperwork anymore. They want to see if your relationship feels real. They might check your photos, your messages, your shared bills, even your online profiles. They might visit your home or call your friends and neighbors. Sounds invasive, right? But it's happening because they're under pressure to prove that the immigration system is fair and that people aren't taking advantage of it. So if you're in a real relationship, don't panic, just be ready to show it. One of the biggest mistakes couples make is thinking love alone is enough proof. Unfortunately, when it comes to immigration, love has to be backed by evidence. That means things like joint bank accounts, shared leases, photos from family events, travel together, messages over time. All the small things that tell the story of a genuine relationship. And if you don't have a lot of that yet, don't stress out. It's not too late to start building that record. The key is consistency. If your story matches your evidence, USCIS will see that. Now, let's talk about the scary part, the penalties. Marriage fraud is considered a serious federal crime. If USCIS determines that a marriage was entered into just for immigration purposes, the immigrant can be deported and permanently banned from entering the U.S. again. The U.S. citizen involved can face up to 5 years in prison and fines up to $250,000. I know that sounds terrifying, but remember, those penalties are aimed at the people who deliberately break the law. For genuine couples, the focus should be on preparation and transparency. You might be wondering, how does USCIS even decide that a marriage is fake? Well, they look for inconsistencies. For example, if you and your spouse give different answers during your interview, like where you first met, who proposed, what side of the bed you sleep on, that raises red flags. Or if your living arrangements don't make sense, like one person supposedly lives in New York and the other in Texas, that's suspicious too. Even small details like forgetting your spouse's birthday or your in-laws' names can make an officer doubt your story. It sounds crazy, but these are the little things that can make a big difference. Another thing you should know is that USCIS has been getting help from other agencies, like ICE and the Department of Justice. They're even partnering with local law enforcement in certain cases. That means a fraud investigation can quickly turn into a criminal case. And believe me, you do not want to end up there. So if anyone ever offers you money to marry for papers, run the other way. Even agreeing to participate puts your whole future at risk. But here's the part I really want you to remember. The majority of immigrants are honest people just trying to build a life here. You came to this country for a better future, and you've worked hard for it. Don't let fear or misinformation make you feel guilty just for being in love with someone from a different country. Real relationships stand up to scrutiny, especially when you take the time to prepare. So, what can you do to make sure you're ready? Keep good records. Save copies of your paperwork, texts, and photos. File your taxes together if you can. Be open and honest in your interview. Don't try to memorize answers. Just tell your real story. Officers can tell when someone's being genuine. If something looks unusual, like if you didn't have a big wedding because of cultural reasons or finances, explain it. USCIS officers are people too, and context matters a lot. I've also seen so many cases where people rely on bad advice from friends or shady consultants. Please, don't do that. Every case is unique. If you're unsure, talk to an immigration attorney who knows the system. The laws can be complex, and even a small mistake can delay or derail your process. Getting the right guidance early can save you months or even years of stress. So if you're watching this right now, take a moment to think about your situation. Are your documents organized? Have you talked with your spouse about your interview? Do you both understand what's going to happen? Preparation doesn't mean fear. It means peace of mind. You deserve that peace after everything you've been through to get here. And if you've already been through the interview or you've got your green card, don't forget to help others in your community. Share what you learned. Because sometimes, one conversation can save someone from making a life-changing mistake. That's what this channel is all about: community, support, and real talk about life as an immigrant in America. Before we wrap up, I want to remind you, staying informed is your best protection. USCIS isn't the enemy, but they are being extra careful right now. The crackdown is real, but so are the opportunities for those who follow the right path. Don't let fear guide your choices. Let knowledge and truth guide you instead. And hey, if this video has helped you understand what's going on or made you feel a little more confident about your process, please take a second to like this video. It really helps get this information out to more people who might need it right now. You'd be surprised how many immigrants are completely unaware of these new enforcement efforts. So by hitting that like button, you're not just helping the channel, you're helping someone else stay safe. All right, my friends, that's all for today's video. But don't go anywhere just yet, because in my next upload, I'll be explaining how to prove your marriage is genuine even if you don't have a lot of documents or a big wedding. Trust me, that one's going to be super helpful. So make sure you're subscribed, turn on that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember, you've got this.